This new moon is perfect for setting intentions to start a new project or something that you're passionate about. Hey y'all, I'm Jasmeen, the owner of House of Chiron Astrology and Reiki, and I make the language of astrology digestible for all of y'all. So welcome to my channel, welcome in, and also welcome back if you are returning. But if you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you will not miss any of these things that I upload and share with you all. All right, so this is going to be our video for the new moon that happens at 16 degrees in Gemini. So we're going to dive right on into all of this energy, okay? And not waste any time, okay? All right, so first and foremost, just a little overview of what this new moon in Gemini is bringing. So it's happening on June 6th at 16 degrees in the sign of Gemini. And like I always tell everyone, that new moons are a time, it signifies new beginnings. It's a time to set new intentions, especially intentions that are going to pan out over the next 6 months or longer, right? So once this new moon is happening, right, it's in Gemini. So during Sagittarius season, we will have um a Gemini full moon during Sagittarius season. And so that Gemini full moon is where we can kind of see the culmination of the intentions and the things that we are setting and beginning at this time right now. So that's about 6 months from now. Okay. And so the new moon in Gemini is really going to be focusing on those Gemini areas, right? Communication, learning, being adaptable, small business, anything that deals with education and communication and learning and travel, short distance and trips and things of that nature. And so it's really an ideal time to initiate projects that are related to like writing, teaching, or any form of information exchange. So however you exchange information, that also includes social media and marketing. And although this Gemini new moon encourages us to kind of be flexible and curious and adaptable, but also be open to new ideas, be open to starting something new, be open to doing something in a new way. All right, so really quickly, this Gemini new moon is going to be making a few different aspects. So the two that are really more so having an effect on this energy is the conjunction to Venus and the square to Saturn. So first and foremost, that conjunction to Venus, right? So meaning that it's together, same sign, same degree, or within 9 degrees of, that energy. So it's at 16 degrees. And so with this conjunction to Venus, it's bringing harmony and love and beauty with this new moon. It's making things a little bit more pleasurable, a little bit more easygoing and relatable, right? Being able to socialize and connect with things just kind of being easy and flowing well, right? And so also it kind of brings into a play of relationships, and not just intimate connections but also like business partnerships, since this has a lot of emphasis on starting new projects. So it could be business partnerships or just connecting with several different associates or just different people in that way. And also it's highlighting the artistic endeavors, right? So being able to use your natural skills, right? Because it's also a very Gemini energy. And so this aspect with Venus is encouraging us to like seek that harmony within our interactions and within our interpersonal relationships, and being able to make that lucrative, right? Being able to capitalize on that in a different way, right? And also taking into account that we can appreciate the beauty within our surroundings, because Gemini rules our environment, our immediate environment. That also includes our neighborhoods and our neighbors. So appreciating the beauty within your surroundings and appreciating the beauty that you naturally have, right? So it's those natural skills, those natural abilities with that Venus and that Gemini energy, okay? And so also, there might be like new romantic or creative ventures that are expanding or being initiated during this time of this new moon. And so, if you're looking to do something along those lines, it's a wonderful new moon to set intentions towards, making sure that manifests for you over the next 6 months. Now, the tougher energy or the tougher aspect to this is that square to Saturn that happens at 18 degrees Pisces. And so although it's not exact, but it's very close, it's just within those 2 degrees. So it's definitely going to be felt. And like I always say about squares are it's an aspect that creates a challenge, right? So how I like to look at a square is that friend that challenges your school of thought. Um, not because they want to argue with you, but because they want you to see it from a different perspective, or they want you to, expand on what your perspective already is. They want to kind of have like that debate. They don't necessarily agree with you all the time, but they want to have that debate so that way there can be some type of growth. That's how I like to look at squares. So it's always going to create some type of tension in order for us to grow. And since it's a square to Saturn, is introducing the need for responsibility and discipline. And so Saturn and Pisces can bring a sense of limitation, maybe even delay with materializing our dreams into reality, right? And so this is going to be requiring us to be patient and persistent and to be disciplined and to keep structure and keep order, right? So this aspect can bring that tension that I was mentioning, especially between the desire for freedom and the need for structure. Being able to understand what is more practical in, being able to create the things that we're desiring. All right. And it's also reminding us to balance our dreams with practical considerations. Like I said, like just be very practical in what we're trying to create, making sure we have a plan, making sure we have a long-term goal, because it's also very Saturn. What is the long-term goal? What is the end game for this thing? And so, set clear intentions during this time and make sure that our goals are realistic during this, 6-month period, whenever we are working towards creating this thing. Focus on building solid foundations because that Saturn energy is there, especially within our ideas and our projects and who we are connecting with and who we are collaborating with, making sure that they are reliable because it's a very Saturn energy, reliability. But also with that Gemini energy, it's about being adaptable and being able to be flexible and curious and explore different things and really research and use your mental faculties to kind of see things from a different perspective, or to be creative in how you pan out or plan these things, right? And then using that Venus influence to really foster positive relationships and creative expression, and also being able to materialize these things into something that's monetary, or just, bringing in more possessions or whatever it is, something that aligns to our values, our true values. And so while we are embracing these lessons that Saturn is going to be providing, the hard work and perseverance, make sure that we are still being able to lean on that Venus, that Venusian energy of ease and pleasure. Okay. So that is all that I have for the overview for this Gemini new moon at 16 degrees. And before we get into the readings for all 12 zodiac signs, I have a few quick announcements, really just one quick announcement. So right now, I mentioned this in the what is it, the Galactic Gossip podcast, excuse me. So I mentioned that the website for House of Chiron is currently down, and that is because House of Chiron is going through a completely rebrand and relaunch. And so the look is changing, and I wanted to have like a holistic branding, and it's seamless across all social platforms and just from start to finish, through and through. So I'm working with a wonderful person, Renata at Renata Estes, and she does great marketing. And she's Afro-Latino, like me. So there's that, but she is doing really great work. And so we are doing a relaunch and a rebrand of House of Chiron, and the website will launch on June 11th, approximately at 12:15, because I just did my electional chart with my good girlfriend, Seven. So she just did the electional chart, and 12:15 on June 11th is when it will launch and when it will open, and you will be able to book like how you have been able to book before. But in the meantime, if you are looking to book a reading or a Reiki service, please just send me an email and I will get you scheduled and booked that way. If you are looking to purchase any merch or anything, please send me an email and I will get you booked that way also. And it's just for another week, until the 11th. So if you want to, you can wait until then, and then everything will be 39% off, because June 11th is my birthday, and it will be my 39th cycle around the sun, which will be my last birthday, my last year in the 30s, and then I will be embarking on my 40s. I know, can you believe it? Oh my God. Like, who in the world thought this was a good idea for me? It's so, oh my God. Anywho, here I am, 39. So here we are, the 39th year, and everything will be 39% off. I'm not going to say everything, all services. So that's Reiki and astrology services will be 39% off for, I guess, a good month or so. I haven't determined how long I'm going to let that go, but on my birthday is when that happens. So keep that in mind. If you want to book then, book then. If you are looking to book it ASAP, if it's an emergency and you just need me, send me an email. I got you. All right. So that is all the announcements that I have. Now let's get into the reading for all 12 zodiac signs. And before we do so, just a quick reminder, make sure you are listening for your sun, moon, and rising sign. Your rising is first and primary, as that directly reflects, the most accurate reading for your sign. It is definitely what's happening in that area of your life. It will reflect that. And then secondary will be your sun. That is your focus and your goals. That is more so directed at like your career endeavors and your public image kind of thing. And then last but not least will be your moon sign, and that is more internal and more subjective. That's more about like your emotional space, your emotional capacities, but also can reflect your home and family life and your current living situations. Okay, so all three are highly important. So I would just listen to them in that order: rising, sun, and then moon. Okay. So let's get this popping, starting off with Aries, sun, moon, and rising. So this Gemini new moon is happening in your third house of communication, learning, siblings, small business. So this is also have a lot to do with like quick trips and travel. And this is bringing fresh energy in your communication sector. So it's an ideal time to start a new project related to writing, teaching, or even learning, maybe starting a new business, right? With Venus being conjunct this new moon, also in your third house, your words will carry charm. Your ideas will be very creative, and you'll be able to, capitalize and be lucrative on whatever, project you initiate during this time. And so there's that square to Saturn and Pisces, and this is reminding you to balance your creativity with discipline and to set clear goals and be mindful of any resistance that you face within your immediate environment. Okay. All right, so moving on to Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. This Gemini new moon is happening in your second house of finances, values, and possessions. So this is a focus on your finances and your personal values. This is about setting new intentions and starting a new journey, a new path on creating income streams for yourself. All right, making money for yourself, not necessarily relying on outside resources, but this is the things that you create for you. This is your material possessions, things that you own. And so with the new moon, it's encouraging you to explore new ways to earn money and manage your resources. And also, with Venus being here, Venus's presence is really highlighting the opportunities for not only creating more revenue and generating more revenue, but also for the beauty and harmony within your financial dealings, right? Doing things that are at ease and that bring you pleasure and that just come easy to you, Taurus rising, right? Something that does not necessarily require you to like strain, to create this for you. Now that square to Saturn, however, it's present and it may bring some challenges with that. It's urging you to be responsible and realistic about your financial goals, right? Doing things that are practical, doing things that are more in alignment with your values that definitely resonate with you. Okay. All right, so moving on to Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. This Gemini new moon is happening in your sign, so it's directly affecting you. This is your new moon, okay? It's in your first house, and this is the house of self-identity, personal initiatives. This is the house that rules your body, right? And so it's a powerful time for you to reinvent yourself and set personal goals. Start off on a new beginning. Start showing up new, just, new moon, new me, who this, that kind of energy. And with Venus being here, in its conjunction in your first house, this is giving you this ability to attract and magnetize things to you, right? It's bringing this aura of attractiveness and harmony to your demeanor, making it a great time for you to not only start new relationships, but creative projects, maybe even buying like new clothes, getting a new appearance, new hairstyle, new shoes, something, right? And then with Saturn being here, square in Pisces, this is creating some internal tension more so because it's urging you to work on your personal boundaries and your self-discipline, right? It's urging you to make sure that you are holding yourself accountable when you are, showing up in this new way, okay? All right, so moving on to Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Gemini new moon is happening in your 12th house, and this is the house of spirituality and subconsciousness and, solitude and healing and retreats and, things of that nature. And so this is inviting you to really delve into your inner world, right? It's a perfect time for you to start new spiritual practices or work on hitting aspects of your psyche, do some introspection and do some healing, maybe even look to travel, for like a long distance journey or to settle somewhere permanent, like a foreign settlement that you will settle at permanently, maybe looking into planning that out. Venus is enhancing your ability to really find peace and beauty and solitude and also in healing. So just kind of be careful when it comes to like the overindulgence of things, because that 12th house energy can bring in escapism. So just kind of work through that. And that square to Saturn is highlighting that need for structure in your spiritual practices and warning against that escapism. Okay. So keep that in mind. All right. Now, moving forward to Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this Gemini new moon is happening in your 11th house of friends and groups and aspirations and, social media and networking and whatnot. And just overall, like your goals as well, right? The material gains. And so, with this Gemini new moon, new opportunities within your social circles and your long-term goals are going to be highlighted during this time. And then Venus being here in a conjunction with this new moon is bringing harmony and pleasant interactions with your friends and your group activities and, networking. So you might meet someone that can actually help you, people that align to your, values. But then also we have that square to Saturn, and it might test your commitments to these groups, right? To where you are being held accountable, where you need to show up. And it might actually test, if this is something that you want to do for the long term, right? And it's urging you to kind of like strike a balance between your personal aspirations and your group responsibilities. So kind of keep that in mind, or your responsibilities to your friends and your responsibilities to your overall goals. So that's that. All right, moving on to Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Gemini new moon is happening in your 10th house of career and public image and achievements. So, this is new beginnings in your career sector, right? Your public image. This is all on the horizon of that. So, if you have been out of work or if you have been looking to shift your career, now's the time to set those intentions to do so. Okay, Virgo? you know, this also can bring in an expansion or a replanning or a rebranding of your career, right? Where if you're looking to switch careers or to kind of like change how you go about doing the work that you do, now it's the time to set those intentions. And with Venus being here also in your 10th house, it, excuse me, it brings creativity in harmony to your professional life, right? So doing something that's going to really, something that you're really going to enjoy is going to make an excellent time to start a new job or a new project or seek recognition, and you might actually receive that recognition. However, like I said, Saturn is also making that square to this energy. And so it might bring some challenges, requiring you to work diligently, requiring you to maintain a disciplined approach to achieve those ambitions that you have set out. Okay. Now, moving on to Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Gemini new moon is happening in your 9th house of higher learning, travel, and philosophies and your life path. And so, with this new moon, it encourages you to really embark on new adventures in learning and travel and philosophical exploration, maybe even your beliefs in religion and things of that nature. And so, with Venus's influence, it brings this sense of joy and beauty when you go after these certain pursuits, right? So you might enjoy enrolling back into school, or you might find yourself, enjoy traveling for like a pilgrimage, or even just taking a sabbatical or something like that. And so exploring your opportunity to seek out new belief systems or new beliefs in general. Now, Saturn's influence, right, that square here might present some obstacles, so you might have some obstacles with actually like achieving or going on this trip, right? Or planning the trip, or it might be some setbacks when it comes to like the flight or something like that, or urging you to really just remain patient and committed to your long-term educational or spiritual goals. Or if you're planning on like, 6 months down the line going on a trip, it might create some type of struggle or challenge or setback with that. Okay. So just kind of be patient and take your time with it. All right, so moving on to Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Gemini new moon is happening in your eighth house of shared resources, transformation, and intimacy. So, this is the things that you share with other people. And the new moon is shining a light on a dark house, right? This is one of those hidden houses. So, this is the shared resources, it's the deep emotional bonds that you have. And with Venus being here in this conjunction, also, it brings harmony to your intimate relationships and your joint ventures. And the things that you share with other people. However, that square to Saturn might require you to be a little bit more cautious and responsible with the shared finances, or your emotional boundaries, or even emphasizing the need for trust and discipline. So these are all things. Also, now something else to kind of consider, that the eighth house represents divination and occult practices. So this could be a time where a lot of Scorpios are getting into different divination or occult practices, and it's requiring you to kind of like learn and be disciplined, and you know, get with a reliable source that can actually teach you or guide you in this way. Okay. So moving on to Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Gemini new moon is happening in your seventh house of partnerships, relationships, commitments, agreements, and contracts. And so this is a new beginning in partnerships. Close relationships are being highlighted during this time. And with Venus, being conjunct here also, is bringing charm and harmony to these areas, right? So it's making it a great time to start new relationships or improve existing ones, right? And also new agreements. And it doesn't necessarily mean like everyone's getting married if you have, a Sagittarius rising. It also can indicate like a business partnership. It could mean like, a commitment or something new happening, like you got you a new best friend, and this is going to be bringing in harmony into your life, these types of things. Now, also, Saturn is square here, and that might introduce some challenges that's urging you to balance freedom with commitment and to work on building solid foundations in your partnership. So, being held accountable, creating those boundaries that are necessary. And so, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be harsh or anything like that. It just means that it's going to require a level of work. All relationships do. All right, so moving on to Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Gemini new moon is happening in your sixth house of health, work, and daily routines. And so this is the focus on your daily routines and your health, and as well as your work environment. And so it's a new beginning. So you might find yourself starting a new position, or having a new health routine, or a new workout, or new diet, things like that. And so with Venus's presence being here, it's bringing a harmonious and enjoyable atmosphere to your workplace. And so this square to Saturn really is highlighting, not only, the need for discipline and responsibility in your daily habits and your work, commitments, but also within, your health, and how you go about doing certain things, right? So it's telling you to set realistic health goals and be diligent in your routines. And you might actually have like, some challenges when it comes to your work. Maybe like someone in a position of authority is requiring you, to be more, accountable in your work, or you might even find that you have to be more accountable with your health and what you're eating, or your daily workout routine, or however. Okay, so new beginnings when it comes to all of that. All right, now moving forward, we have Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And this Gemini new moon is happening in your fifth house of creativity, romance, and children. This is also the house that is about your hobbies and your joy, right? The things that you just enjoy doing. And so new creative projects, maybe even romantic endeavors, maybe even new kids. Okay, I'm just saying, some of y'all could be having babies. And these different things, different activities with children, if you already have children, these are being highlighted. And so Venus is conjunct this new moon. And so this is bringing joy and beauty into these areas of your life. However, Saturn and Pisces, right, is making that square, which is a challenge, and it's urging you to balance your fun with your responsibility and to be disciplined, especially regarding children or creative commitments. So kind of keep that in mind. You might find that, you need to create structure in your home because summer is out, kids are out of school. You might create structure. It might need to be a balance between like education and fun activities, when it comes to your children. Or you might need to be more disciplined if you're trying to conceive during this time. You might need to be more disciplined, or you might need to seek professional assistance in trying to conceive. So these might be just some of the challenges that are coming up for those. Regarding children in that aspect. Now, also, when it comes to your creativity, just say, for instance, you're trying to launch a new project and you just need to be more disciplined, or you need to have more structure when it comes to your launch, right? Knowing the dates, knowing how you're going to do the marketing. And that could be, that thing that you need, the discipline that you need in order to make this thing work. Okay. All right. So last but not least, we have Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And this Gemini new moon is happening in your fourth house of home, family, and emotional foundations. This is also the house of self-care and our mothers and our upbringing. It's about our roots and our traditions. And so this is a new beginning related to all of those things. Home and family are in the focus. Maybe you're creating new traditions within your home. And, the new moon encourages us to set those intentions for improving our living space or our family relationships. So having conversations could be something because it's in Gemini, right? Communicate. Make plans, get out in your community, get outside, right? And so Venus is making that conjunction also to this new moon that brings harmony and love into your domestic life, right? Into your home life. And maybe even remodeling could be something where everyone is like pitching in to remodel the home in a certain way, or just giving their ideas. Now, also keep in mind that that square to Saturn is here and is suggesting that we face and overcome any emotional or familial challenges with patience and resilience, just being very responsible and accountable for certain things, right? Facing ourselves and having those tough conversations, and building that discipline that's necessary and needed during this time. Okay. So that is all that I have for this Gemini new moon energy. I hope that this has been beneficial and helpful. The next video that I have coming out will be on the Capricorn full moon that will be happening at the end of this month. So keep watch on that. In the meantime, I will be kind of posting little short videos on, present energy and, little tips and tools like I always do. So I hope this has been good. I hope y'all have a wonderful new moon. Set your intentions. I just told y'all what to be setting intentions for, okay? So set your intentions and have a wonderful, wonderful remaining part of June. All right. Bye.